lot has been happening in the polity, and we'll be dissecting all what that has been happening right here. We'll touch on the ones that we can touch, and we'll look at it, the issues, what has been happening in politics and the polity. And I have a lot of topic here, and we'll see the one we can touch. And one of such is the one of Rotimi Amaechi, the former governor of Rivers State, is apparently interested in running in 2027 because he was online with some of his followers, and he disclosed that Mr. Peter Obi apparently won the 2023 presidential election, particularly in Rivers State. We'll be looking at this, what happened during that election, and what does this mean for Mr. Peter Obi, and also the case of that of Godswill Akpabio being allegedly ill in London. The last live that I did, I wasn't able to touch on it. I will touch on it today. And also, you would see that PDP is seeking the return of Mr. Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi was in Bauchi State, and the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, was begging him that, oh, return to our fold. We need you back in the PDP. And also, it was reported that Goodluck Jonathan, the former president, was offering Mr. Peter Obi, I think he was offering a ministerial slot for 2027. So what does this mean for Mr. Peter Obi, and would Mr. Peter Obi accept this kind of offer to be a minister in 2027? Mr. Peter Obi and the former president Goodluck Jonathan, they have very good, very cordial relationship. They have this brotherly interaction between them. But then, is that enough for Mr. Peter Obi to bury his ambition of becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? We'll be looking at this. And I need to remind you that earlier in the day, I uploaded a video of an alleged leak audio whereby there was a staff of INEC that said that, well, the 2023 presidential election was allegedly rigged in favor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Maybe I'll touch on that a little bit. And also, there's this case of the copper girl, Ushe Uguamayi. You remember that copper girl that said, oh, Lagos is smelling, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is underperforming. That copper girl have allegedly been denied her NYSC certificate, and she was told that she cannot receive the certificate, that she should come back later, that our case is being investigated and all that. Apparently, because of that viral video that, oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president. So I think that some of the handlers of the president were embarrassed because they never thought that that particular video would go viral. And it went viral, it spread like wildfire. In fact, it dominated the headlines for some days at that point in time, and that was what gave that girl, Ushe Uguamayi, that was what gave her fame at that point in time. And it even led to protest because they were to, I think, extend their service here. Then Showore and his Take It Back movement decided that they were going to protest in favor of the girl, and at that point in time, I think, no, even Showore protested. He was there, but the airline, that is the local investigator or something like that, the airline said that, or whoever is the NYC official, they allegedly ran away at that point in time. So now the case is resurfacing again, and I'll be reading the post of the lady to you where she's expressing her frustrations. Ideas TV, we are saying, great to have you here, my brother. So if you look at it, a lot has been happening in the polity, and I read recently that the people are also protesting, some of these port people, that there's an increment in this port, landing port or something like that, that there is an increment. We'll be looking at that, but I think I'll talk about that in another video. I'll make a video as regards that, maybe today or tomorrow. Mr. Peter Obi's visit to Bauchi State, I have a video on that. I've already dropped my lines in that particular video, and I have all the materials ready. Maybe that one will be dropping tomorrow by the grace of God, because Mr. Peter Obi seems to be gaining ground in Bauchi State. It seems to be spreading like wildfire because the people gave him a warm reception. The school of nursing that he donated about 15 million naira to, those ones who were shouting, they were saying, oh, come 2027 we would vote for Mr. Peter Obi. Then Mr. Peter Obi was also at Tafawa Balewa University, and at that particular university, the people in that, the student of that university they were giving him this all this aluta chant. Some of you that schooled in Nigeria before, you know all this kind of like the way they will eulogize you, the way they will introduce you. So the guy did a perfect job. I have a video on that hopefully by the grace of God will be dropping tomorrow. If you missed my video as regards the alleged rigging of the 2020 the alleged rigging of the 2023 presidential election, do want to catch up with it. I won't talk about it in this particular video because I have a bit of analysis on that, and that particular leaked audio has been attached to it, and it's just about 13 minutes view. So do want to catch up with it and watch it from beginning to the end. Now let us look at this Ushe Uguamaye, that particular copper. Let me tell you what she. Let me read a statement out to you. The copper that said Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president. She wrote on her social media handle, I am Raye. She said, I was contemplating if I should share this or not, but decided not to. After 1 year of moving to another man's land to serve my country, ended with no certificate and telling me to come for final verdict that we already know how it will end. I genuinely wish I wasn't a Lagos State copper because it's a waste of my time. I can't say moving here was bad, but serving here isn't all pleasure. Just to add to it, they said the reason I'm not getting my certificate is because I didn't clear myself for the month of April on my scheduled date. But what they ain't saying is that I was present to get cleared. Yet LGI kept asking me to go to the back. And when she finally wanted to attend to me, she said she won't clear me. She seized my file and told me to get out. This is a long story, and I don't mind waking up midnight to tell the story. The deep-rooted anger I feel and hatred is crazy because I don't know who to direct it to. But I wish myself the best, and I'm closing this chapter. That is the words of Ushe Uguamaye, the lady that said Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president, that said Lagos is smelling. They have denied her and NYSC, POP, right? Passing out parade. During the passing out parade, they have denied her a certificate, and now the lady is coming out to voice her frustration as against the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. Who could be responsible? Because I don't like a situation whereby you would stifle the voice of young people. You will try to kind of like silence them, and at the end of the day you are killing the courage of this girl. This girl, as when she made the video, was reportedly 23 years old. So if somebody is 23 years old and you are now intimidating that person because of a man that is either 70 or 80 years, that is not right. You cannot intimidate a 23 years old. You cannot deny a 23 years old a certificate that she has worked for just because you want to satisfy the ego or you want to please some people in power, and you deny the poor girl a certificate just because you want to please Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the likes. Why? Because she said Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president. Okay, is it that it is a must that everybody must come out and say, oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, be thou exalted. Oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are the best. Should that be the case? This is democracy. If some people speak in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of course, some people will speak against him. No matter how good Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, some people will praise him, while some people will rubbish him. That is the essence of democracy. In fact, what makes democracy sweet is opposition. If there's no opposing voice, then there's no democracy. What we would have is autocracy. So you don't expect that everybody will be your praise singer, and criticisms comes with the job under the circumstance. So I don't like a situation, and my position on this is very clear. You cannot deny a young girl of 23 years old. You cannot deny her life. You cannot deny her future. You cannot stifle her voice just because you want to please a man that is about 80 years. A man that is about 80 years is close to the grave. Let's be realistic with ourselves. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be lucky if he spends 10 more years on earth. Don't forget, the average lifespan of a Nigerian is about 53, 54 years old. What that means is that if you are a Nigerian, you are born in Nigeria, you lived majority of your life in Nigeria. If you are a Nigerian, you are expected not to live more than 54 years old. And what Why is it like that? By virtue of the food you eat, by virtue of the stress that you are facing in life, by virtue of the comfort that is available to you as a human being. So looking at all these indices of life, scientists, researchers have come up with the idea that so long as you are a Nigerian, you are not expected, or you should naturally expect rather to live just for about 54 years. So if you are expected to live for 54 years and you have lived for over 70 years, and some will say maybe 80 something, whatever, but let's say you are in your 70s to go with your official age, that means that you have lived above the life expectancy in Nigeria. So you cannot kill the dream of a young girl just because you want to please one Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with profound respect to him, that is about 70 something years old. Then this girl, this Uche Ugwamaye, definitely she will pass as Bola Ahmed Tinubu's grandchild. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu's grandchild, let's say Sheyi's child now, Sheyi Tinubu does something wrong to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will you kill Sheyi's child? No. Will you stifle Sheyi's child? No. Will you kind of like treat Sheyi's child badly? No. And at the end of the day, what will they say? They'll say, oh, Tinubu is the father of the nation. Right? Okay, if you are the father of the nation, that means that you are the father of everybody. Isn't it? Both the stupid, both the useless, both the intelligent, both the unwise. So you are also the father of this Uche Ugwamaye, that core member. So you cannot stifle her voice just because she has spoken against you. I don't know whether Tinubu is involved, or it is just some people in the presidency, or maybe some people in NYSC that are trying to be overly loyal. But I am clear on this, that what they are doing to the young girl, it is not right, it is not good. You cannot kill her dream. You cannot make her feel useless and hopeless just because she spoke out against the president. And the worst part of it is that some of our fellow core members that benefited from her activism, you know that it was after that they increased the allowance of core member to about 70,000 naira. Some of our colleagues that benefited from that money, nobody is speaking for her now. And that is why in Nigeria, you need to think twice before you fight for Nigerians. Sometimes Nigerians are not worth fighting for. Some of them have received their certificate now. They have returned to their father's house. Uche Ugwamaye now, the Tinubu boys have denied her a certificate. And that is very, very saddening. So it shouldn't be like that. And if you support the action, definitely tomorrow, you will have a president that you don't like. And when you criticize that particular president, the voice of that president will also do that to either you or your family or your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your child or your grandchild. That is why the action of NYSC is totally condemnable. You cannot hold Uche Ugwamaye's certificate just because she called Bola Ahmed Tinubu a terrible president. If you don't want to feel the heat, don't come to the kitchen. In the sense that if you don't like to be criticized, don't come to the public space. Be a private citizen, and nobody would apparently criticize you. How many people is criticizing Dangote? How many people have the time of Femi Otedola? But if you are a public official, whether you are Wike, whether you are Tinubu, whether you are Akpabio, definitely expect that some people will not be satisfied with you and they will hear their view. So I just hope that Nigerians will rise up for that particular lady, and NYSC would kind of like release a certificate immediately, because without the NYSC certificate, she won't be able to get a job. And apparently that girl cannot even get a job in any government parastatal. But at the end of the day, what if she wants to be employed in a private firm and they're asking for her NYSC certificate? So even the firm will be afraid that, oh, if we employ this girl now, maybe the Tinubu boys will say, oh, we have breached the law, because if you are a graduate, you must have served your country before you can gain employment. Then what if in the nearest future this girl is convinced by what is happening in Nigeria and she decides to run for a political office? Then what will now happen? Especially if the constitution has been changed. Now what you need to do is to submit your school cert. But in the future, if the criteria is that if you have a BSc, you must submit your NYSC certificate, that means that you have disqualified this girl from holding public office in Nigeria. That is not right. That is not a very good thing. You cannot withhold a 23-year-old girl for somebody that is other that. No, give this girl a certificate. You see, sometimes when you are an elephant, if an ant does something against you, it is naturally expected by law of nature that you will naturally stamp that particular ant and crush that ant. But if you do so, you haven't done anything special. You have done what is expected of you, that you are using your power against that particular ant. But if you now let go, you would have done something special, because people would think, oh, this elephant would, ought to have crushed this ant. But then this elephant have let go of this ant. Then people will praise you that, oh, you have done something right. So I just hope that I just need to, first of all, take time to touch on it, because when I read the story, I felt very sad and I felt very touched for that particular lady. I served in Kano many years ago, and I can tell you NYC is interesting, but it's not really as easy as that. If you are to move away from your comfort zone to another state entirely, and you will spend a year, maybe sometime in the future I will share my experience in Kano State. So I hope that the Tinubu boys will do the right thing and let Ushe Ugwamaye, the couple that said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a terrible president, they would release her and let her go. So the word here is Pharaoh. If according to the Bible, Pharaoh, let my people go. But now it is not Pharaoh, it is Tinubu and the Tinubu boys. Let Ushe Ugwamaye, let her go. That is it. About that. So as I was saying before I brought up this issue of the copper girl, there was somebody that said, oh, the 2020 presidential election was rigged, and that person happens to be a software engineer. And from the words of that particular person, it seems to be an INEC staff or know the inner workings of INEC. That video, I uploaded it and made some analysis with it. It's a video I strongly recommend for you. If you are yet to watch it, do want to watch it later on, so that you can be abreast with some of these issues. But if the words in that particular video, if it is true, I could have played it for you, but I can't do that again since it's already on my channel here, so you can just catch up with it. If that particular video is true, then you may want to ask yourself that what is the hope for 2027? What is the hope? Let's be sincere with ourselves. If it is easy for somebody to just switch off the INEC server, then what is your hope for 2027? So definitely all these things are things that needs to be looked into. And do you know the worst part? Do you know what is most saddening? You see, during Jonathan era, there was pretense. In fact, during Obasanjo's time, there was pretense. Let me start from Obasanjo's era. During Obasanjo's era, there was pretense that, okay, electoral reform, this, that, this, there was some pretense. Then, when Yar'Adua came in, Yar'Adua was committed to electoral reform. He said, oh, the election that brought me in, I accept that it's not the best. I accept that election is flawed. So, definitely, there should be electoral reform. And he made some commitment towards it. Goodluck Jonathan, made commitment to electoral reform, and he even signed the reform that led to him being kicked out of office. Now, take note of this contemporary political history in Nigeria as regards election reform. Goodluck Jonathan signed the electoral reform that made it possible for him to be kicked out of office. Now, during Buhari's time, there was still some pretense, right? There was some pretense during the Buhari era. I remember during the Bukola Saraki day, I'm going to somewhere as regards this Akpabio-led Senate and the Tinubu government. During the Saraki era, during Buhari's first time, there was some pretense. Saraki came up with this electoral reform. It was submitted to Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari declined assent. He gave one excuse at that point in time. The Saraki-led Senate worked on that particular electoral reform bill again and submitted it to Muhammadu Buhari. Then there was an argument that, oh, it was already close to the election, we can't sign this, we can't sign that, and all that. So there was still some effort to make sure that there is electoral reform. But what is shocking in the Tinubu government is that, there's even no major pretense. Like, okay, you don't want the electoral reform. You are very scared of it. That, oh, this electoral reform may kick the president out of office. Okay, it's fine. But at least show pretense. Let there be pretense that at least you are doing something. When you are playing and the teacher turns to your side, when you are in maybe primary school or secondary school, and you and your colleagues are playing as the teacher is writing something on the board, and when the teacher is writing something on the board and the teacher just look back, the way all of you will suddenly be serious, as if you are doing something important, as if you are the most serious student. So let there even be pretense that, oh, we are working towards electoral reform. We know that, okay, the 2023 election wasn't perfect and all that, and that is why the likes of Yar'Adua doesn't come quickly in a generation. Maybe the likes of Yar'Adua will just come maybe one or two in a generation, and you won't find the likes of Goodluck Jonathan in every generation. So definitely there should even be some pretense that, oh, we are doing something. But what I've noticed about this government is there's no pretense at all. Nobody seems concerned. Nobody seems, there's no, that major action, right? They may say, oh, we will work on it, we are setting up committee, but it is not like the past government. If you look at the past government, the government of Jonathan, the government of Yar'Adua, as I've referenced it, as regards the contemporary electoral reform history in Nigeria, you see that there's that major, there's that, should I call it like that? I'm looking for another word. That disguise that, oh, we are doing something. They may not want it. They may not want to do it, but definitely in this government, there's no much action as regards that. And let me shock you, this is 2025, right? All what we have for election to be on the top gear is just the end of this year. Once it is 2026, the presidential election will come up in February 2027. Yeah, February 2027. So by 2026, Happy New Year 2026, definitely the whole electoral process will be steaming up, and you would have a year to the election by February 2026. Then there will be the race for, okay, who will be the presidential candidate of this, who will this group or this person, who will they align with? Then the whole place will be filled with electoral issues, and by that point in time, definitely it will be too close to call. It will be too close to say, oh, you want to pass any electoral reform. So what I can assert to you as a political scientist from my lens is looking at the body language of the Akpabio-led Senate, looking at the power approach of the president and his handlers. If nothing happens this year 2025, this is August, if nothing happens as regards electoral reform, just forget about any electoral reform in 2026. And the big question is that if you go into another election with this particular template of 2023, even if all Nigerians vote against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can Bola Ahmed Tinubu lose that election? That's one question you should ask yourself. That, okay, let's imagine that you are going into the 2027 election with the 2023 template, right? The laws, and there's no reform. The big question is that even if all Nigerians vote against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can Bola Ahmed Tinubu lose that particular election? So before you shout, oh, I'm obedient, oh, before you shout, oh, I'm articulate, before you shout, oh, Betis, okay, if you are Betis, right, that's the Bola Ahmed Tinubu political enthusiast, you are highly favored. But if you are obedient, definitely you should know that no matter how hard Peter Obi try in that particular election, or how Nigerian voting, he may end up losing with this current electoral template. And there's no much commitment on the angle of the National Assembly to bring electoral reform. Now, let me now give you another shocker. Let me give you the one that will make you sad the most. Apologies if if you are sad as regards this, but I will tell you the truth, not minding who sucks is God. You see, there's something going on in the National Assembly that if you are a Nigerian, perhaps you may need to pray against it, because if it happens, then it will be a fait accompli, which is that currently in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's party, the All Progressive Congress, I think have just about 2 to 3 senators to have two-third majority. Now, listen to this. This is not the time to go away, because this thing pertains to your life, it pertains to your future, it pertains to the future of your children. It's only in Nigeria that people are not interested in politics. People are sitting on your life every day. They are taking decisions that will change, that will affect or ruin the destiny of you, your family, friends and family every blessed day. And you are not interested in their action. You are not interested in what they do. All you know how to do in your life, let me blast my politics a little bit. Some of you, all you know how to do is to watch movies. You watch series 1, series 2, disc 1, disc 2, part 1, part 2, chapter 20, chapter 24. You know everything. You can sing Burna Boy head to head, but you don't know the minister of power. That is not right, because Burna Boy is not shaping your life. Davido is not shaping your life. It is these politicians. All these politicians that are shaping your life, they are the one taking this. Look at Wike. Let me give you an example. Look at Nyesom Wike. He has an option to use that money to settle primary school teacher, that 39 billion whatever. But Nyesom Wike decide that, well, what is important to him is to renovate the International Conference Center and rename it Bola Ahmed Tinubu Conference Center. Now look at what has happened to the destiny of those kids, the destiny of those primary school children. So who tell you that politics is not important? Who tell you that you should not be interested in politics? So definitely, if you are the type that, oh, you just lose guard that, well, they already know who will win, oh, let them do their thing. Or, oh, even if, I remember some people, they will say, oh, even if fuel sells for 5,000 naira, the most important thing is God should give they and their family the money to be able to afford it. If you are one of the people that reason like that, you are very selfish. And that is why it is always good to kind of like follow politics and happenings in the polity, because as political scientists we say politics is a ubiquitous, it is a contagious phenomenon, it is all conditioning in all conditions. You see that little thing that I just said, I can explain it from now to tomorrow. Politics is a ubiquitous and a contagious phenomenon. It is all conditioning in all conditions. But let me leave that explanation aside. You know, you guys are not political scientists, so it's apparently immaterial if I go into some of these deep insights of political science. But what I can tell you is that in the Senate now, the APC government just have about maybe 2 to 5 senators to have the overwhelming 2/3 majority. Now, listen attentively. Now, let me help you in this regard. If the APC have 2/3 majority in the National Assembly, which is the Senate and the House of Representatives, what that means is that anything Bola Ahmed Tinubu brings forward will automatically be passed without recourse or reference to anybody, without recourse to anything Nigerians want to say, without recourse to the people in the opposition. Because what the Constitution says is that for you to pass something, you must have 2/3. Sometimes it is simple majority, sometimes it is 2/3 majority. Now, if it is simple majority, they already have that simple majority. But for you to change the constitution, you need 2/3 majority. And some of you don't think, you haven't seen it, that it is very easy for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to even have a third term. It is very easy for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to change the constitution and allegedly make himself a like president like Paul Biya of Cameroon. Because if APC have 2/3 majority in the Nigerian Senate, with 2/3 majority, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu calls Godswill Akpabio and they sit down today and they agree that, oh, Akpabio, you know what will happen? I think that it will be good if we change Nigeria's currency from naira, and the name of the currency will be Wasobia, or Nigeria's currency should no longer be called naira. It should be called BAT. The acronym for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They will go to the Nigerian Senate, go to the House of Representatives, and they would sit on it. And when it comes to voting, they won't even use voice vote. They will confidently say, okay, they want to subject it to manual voting, and you will count it one after the other, and you will see that, well, the majority have it, and it is 2/3, which is that the APC have majority. So that 2/3 that APC is about to have in the Senate and the National Assembly, in the Senate and House of Representatives, is a dangerous figure. But some Nigerians don't know. Some Nigerians, their own is to watch movie. Some Nigerians, their own is to watch what is happening, who is abusing who. Oh, Bobrisky is abusing Very Dark Man. Very Dark Man, is threatening Iyabo Ojo. Iyabo Ojo's daughter is wedding, is getting married. All those things doesn't affect your life. The one that affects your life, that you see when the National Assembly resumes, in about 2 months' time from their recess, by that time, some senators or some honorables, the House of Representative guy, they may have decamped to the APC. And once they have that 2/3 majority, trust me, Nigerians are as good as finished. They want to borrow money, straight approval. They want to change the constitution, straight approval. They want to do this, straight approval. They want to say, oh, there's no weekend again. Nigerians must work from Monday to Sunday. There's no Saturday, Sunday. I'm just using that as an example. Straight approval. Okay, from 8 a.m. Definitely all Nigerians must be inside. Straight approval. The work resumption, official resumption time of Nigeria now is no longer 8 a.m. Now it is 5 a.m. Straight approval. That is what it means by the 2/3. And APC is very, very close. Very, very close to achieving that 2/3 in the Senate. I think in the in the House of Representatives, they still have like a bit of margin, but not a strong margin to that particular two-third. And this is something that should interest Nigerians. But Nigerians are not interested in that. You will just hear one day that, oh, breaking news, in the Senate, APC now have two-third. What that means is that they can even pass a law that will make the election easy for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it is something that Nigerians must look into and must look into adequately. Now, talking about the National Assembly, it was reported that Godswill Akpabio was allegedly sick, that he was coming from, I think, Geneva, and he had to make a stop in London to attend to his health and all that. Well, I don't know the extent to which that is true, but there's one thing that I know, which is that it was Jackson Ude that made that particular revelation. I'm still coming to the issue of Obi, Jonathan, and all that, the PDP, but let me touch on this, which is quite important. It was Jackson Ude that made that particular revelation. Now, I don't know whether what Jackson Ude is saying is the truth as regards the health of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. If you are yet to subscribe, of course, do well to subscribe to this channel, and I may open the phone lines later for people to contribute. If you would like to contribute to anything that I've said, just put it in the comment section that, oh, as regards so topic, I have something to say. Then I may just open the phone lines for you. Call out how you can reach me, then you can have your say on this program. So if you want to contribute to any topic that I've said, just say it in the comment section, and of course, do well to subscribe and turn on your notification button. I've spoken about Uche Ugwamaye, the copper that was denied certificate, that girl that said Tinubu is a terrible president. I've spoken about the move by the Senate to have a two-third. APC's close to two-third in the National Assembly, both in the Senate and House of Representatives. I've spoken about that, and now I'm speaking about the alleged ailment of Godswill Akpabio. I don't know whether what Jackson Ude is saying is correct. I'm not sure about it, but one thing about that Jackson Ude is that he has said something before that I kind of like discounted, but surprisingly it came out true, which is the death. With profound respect, God rest his soul, is a great guy. He did his best for Nigeria, and he wasn't power centric. He was kind of like just calm, cool, and collected. And I think that he was a great guy in his own right, which is the late Taoreed Lagbaja. When Taoreed Lagbaja was ill, it was Jackson Ude that reviewed it that, oh, Taoreed Lagbaja is terribly sick abroad. When they said, oh, Taoreed Lagbaja is recuperating, it was that same Jackson Ude that said Taoreed Lagbaja is dead. And even, I think, the army, the military high command, at that point in time, came out to debunk it, that no, Taoreed Lagbaja is not dead. They spoke to him, he is recuperating. And I was looking at it that if Taoreed Lagbaja is, if Taoreed Lagbaja is not dead, no action will be taken by the presidency. But if the president takes any kind of drastic action, that means that perhaps Taoreed Lagbaja is dead, because they will want to announce it suddenly. They will want to kind of like plan themselves, program themselves in such a way that when the announcement is now made to Nigerians, definitely they would have covered some loose ends as regards, coup plot and all that, or forceful takeover of power and all that. So there is not every death that you just come out and announce. So Jackson Ude was bold enough to announce it, that from the information available to him, Taoreed Lagbaja is dead. And true to it, some days or about a week later, the news broke that, lo and behold, the former chief of army staff, God rest his soul, great guy in his own right, may God forgive him his sins, is actually dead. So Jackson Ude is someone that usually bring out some of these kind of like strange news. So he was one of the people that said, oh, Akpabio is ill in London. I don't know how true it is, but what I can say is that if truly Godswill Akpabio is ill, well, I can't say anything but wish him good health. But there are some lessons as regards that, if truly he is ill, what we can learn from that particular situation. But then we must not fail to say that the picture and video of Godswill Akpabio in London emerged, where he was attending what they call a birthday or something like that. And we must not also fail to point out that recently the picture of the video of Godswill Akpabio have emerged, whereby he was using walking stick and not walking stick in terms of incapacitation, but just using something to support himself, and he appears to be limping. And that particular issue, some people were reporting it that, oh, what is wrong with Godswill Akpabio? So definitely, is Akpabio sick? I can't really say. But then, what can we learn from all of this? What I can say is that if Godswill Akpabio is sick, truly, that means that God is telling him something, which is that, well, learn how to count the number of your days, and always remember that power is transcend. And that will lead me to what is happening in Ogun State currently, the face-off between former Governor Gbenga Daniel and Governor Dapo Abiodun. It's a very interesting package. I will link it to this Akpabio issue, and I'll bring out some things to it, because it kind of like give me a perfect illustration of what I want to bring out as regards if Akpabio is truly sick, what that tells and teaches us. So currently in the United Kingdom, if Akpabio is sick truly, as reviewed by Jackson Ude, and I've given you the background. If you are just watching me, do what to subscribe. You've missed a whole lot, but then it's better late than never. So I've given you the background of Jackson Ude and some of the news that he has broken that comes out to be true. And I think maybe was he one of the people that broke the news of Yar'Adua's death at that point in time? I really can't recollect, but I remember quite well the one of Taurid Lagbaja. So if Akpabio is truly sick, it teaches us that, okay, you should number your days. And the whole issue as regards power, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, to my mind, I think it leaves much to be desired, in the sense that either ways you look at it, Natasha has already been affected, and it is not good to kind of like go all out to say, oh, this woman, she must fall by fire by force. Because if you look at it, in the Nigeria of today, in 2027, Oshiomhole is coming as Senate President. Oshiomhole is greatly interested. If you don't follow politics, you won't know some of these things. But Adams Oshiomhole is very interested in becoming the Senate President. And because he is interested in becoming the Senate President, definitely he is not new into politics. So it will be looking for, how he can kind of like snatch power from Akpabio. And one of the things they will use against him is this issue of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Then some of the things that Akpabio is doing, I think he needs to kind of like correct himself. I think this Senator Seraki Diski, has complained about him before that, well, he doesn't let the opposition to talk. That is one thing that I like about the Saraki-led Senate. During the Saraki-led Senate, I used to watch the plenary in the Senate, and I can tell you that Saraki is one of the greatest Senate presidents that Nigeria ever had, in terms of intelligence, in terms of knowing how to undo the chambers. If you want to know how intelligent a Senate president is, let it come from the opposition party, or let him not be a friend of the president. Then he will meet resistance from the ruling party, and at that point in time, the ruling party may eventually have their way, which is the APC, the Buhari boys. But Saraki would open the floor, and there will be a rigorous debate. There will be a kind of like stronger. I enjoy watching it. It was quite very educative at that point in time. But this Akpabio-led Senate, I've watched the plenary on tries, and trust me, it's not inspiring. So if Akpabio is truly sick, definitely it is a reminder from God. When you are sick or when you are sleeping, God is reminding you. If you sleep, it is only God that can wake you, right? You are just covered by His grace. And when you are sick, definitely it is God reminding you to count the number of your days, and to remember that, like life itself, power is transcend. So I think that this issue of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan should be resolved amicably. And you see, when it comes to the transcendency of power, whether you are from Ogun State or not, or whether any position you occupy, you see, this issue that I'm about to reveal to you, it will give you some great lessons of life as regards the transcendency of power and life itself. In Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, the current governor of Ogun State, and the former governor of Ogun State, Gbenga Daniel, they are friends. Some of you don't know that all these guys, most of them, they are friends. Some of you don't know that Nuhu Ribadu, the national security advisor, is married to, I think, Atiku's child. So Nuhu Ribadu holds the security of Nigeria in his hands. He is a Tinubu guy, but his child is married to Atiku Abubakar's child. You can see that connection. Some of you don't know that. I think Abike Dabiri Erewa is married to Ibikunle Amosun, former governor of Ogun State's child. So these people, they just come to deceive Nigerians as if they are fighting themselves. Oh, you died. You. No, some of them, they are friends behind the scene. And if you look at the video of Atiku Abubakar and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if they see themselves, they hug, they shake hands, they laugh, they smile. If Peter Obi sees Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, they will greet themselves, they will hug and smile. But Nigerians just hate themselves for no reason. Now, the governor of Ogun State, Akpabio, is saying that he wants to revoke both the House, the Asoludero Court. Yeah, I think it's Asoludero of the former governor Benga Daniel, and he's not going to only demolish his house. He wants to demolish his hotel. You can imagine an hotel that will be owned by the former governor of a state. You know, you can imagine how luxurious that hotel is. I think that hotel is about 3-story building or 4-story building, one of the best hotels in Ogun State. And the governor of the state, Dapo Abiodun, is now saying that, well, this hotel must go down. So you can see the transcendency of power. And I think Akpabio should be able to learn from such a thing, that if Benga Daniel, that was in power in Ogun State some time ago, that is, you know, he was in charge of everything in Ogun State, and he is even the landlord, because the governors are in charge of lands and properties in the state. Everybody is almost a tenant. So as the landlord of the properties in Ogun State, definitely as the number one, he can do as he likes. But look at how time flies. Now the governor, who happens to be his friend, right, is now threatening that he's going to demolish his property, not just the house, but the multi-millionaire hotel of Benga Daniel. So you can see how time changes, how power it changes, how the transcendency of power and life is. So I just hope that Akpabio will learn from that. The only people in Nigeria, the category of people that I know that they don't suffer that much in Nigeria is former president. There is a culture of forgive and forget when it comes to former president in Nigeria. So no former president have been held accountable. Obasanjo, the power project, we've not heard anything. Yaradua is late, God bless his soul. Goodluck Jonathan, no, stealing is not corruption and all that. We've not heard anything. Muhammadu Buhari, God bless his soul. You know, all his boys, they are walking free with their alleged loot. The Tinubu boys are there now. They will behave the way they like. And when Bola Ahmed Tinubu leaves, neither him or maybe some of them will be called to account, but apparently Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not be called to account. So there's this culture of forgive and forget when it comes to presidents in Nigeria. But apart from being a president, you know, there are some governors that meet their Waterloo, and that is what is happening in Ogun State at the moment. So I hope that Godswill Akpabio will learn from that things can change at any point in time. There are people that have been in have occupied some great positions like this. I think Alex Bade or something like that, one of the security chiefs in Nigeria. It was insecurity that allegedly killed him. You can imagine that. So look at the transcendency of power and life itself. So I think that Godswill Akpabio, if he is strong, then I wish him long life. But if he is ill, I wish him speedy recovery. But the words of Jackson Ude, you know, from experience cannot just be thrown away like that. So that is one thing about that. Now let us go to another thing. Rotimi Amaechi, the former governor of Rivers State, he revealed that Obi won the election, particularly in Rivers State. He said Obi won that election specifically in Rivers State. And he also revealed, you know, that they like to pretend in Nigeria. Nigerian politicians, they like to pretend. They will go and buy form. They will say, oh, it is some group that bought the form for me. They would kind of like indicate their interest to run just because they want to satisfy their friends and family. They will say, oh, I have decided to heed the call of Nigerians. That is what some of them will say. So if you look at it very well, in the Nigerian political landscape at the moment, Amechi is one of the strong contenders for 2027. And the video that I recorded, I'm yet to upload as regards Mr. Peter Obi's visit to Bauchi State. Do well to catch up with it. And that's why if you are watching me, if you are yet to subscribe, of course, do well to subscribe to this channel. In that particular video, I made an assertion that I hope Peter Obi is keeping enough money to prosecute the 2027 presidential election, because some of the strong contenders that he will have in 2027, they are silent. They are keeping their money. So the way Mr. Peter Obi is, doing giveaway, spending money, going to go to Bauchi, go to Edo, showing love to people, being a crusader of love, helping the needy, going to I think which IDP camp did it? I think it was Plateau. It was rejected by the governor of Benue State. Now, I said in that particular video that I hope that Mr. Peter Obi is saving enough money for the 2027 presidential election, because some of his greatest contenders are money bags. They are not only money bags, they have mastered the art and science of primary election. They are taking it one step at a time. The interview that Ameachi granted on X, Mr. Peter Obi did that recently, just very recently, with some of his followers, or some of his beloved political followers on X some time ago. He did that. Now Ameachi did his own just days ago, and in that particular forum, while he was addressing some of his followers, he said that, if they vote him in 2027, Ameachi likes to disguise a lot. They will be the one to say, I am hungry. Which kind of hunger? Let us be sincere with ourselves. I can't help but agree with Nyesom Wike in that particular regard. You may not like Nyesom Wike, you understand? To me, he doesn't play the best of game. He speaks rudely, sometimes he acts in a very silly manner. Sometimes he doesn't even know how to approach issues. And to him, he's the only one that is right in Nigeria. No other person is right. And Nyesom Wike has proven that, he can worship you today and denigrate you tomorrow. But if you look at Nyesom Wike's talk, that you were speaker, you were governor, you were minister for 8 years, you were not hungry. Just within 2 years, you are now shouting hunger. It is hunger for power. I can't help but agree with Nyesom Wike in that regard. So Ameachi is one person that is strategizing to make sure that he defeats Peter Obi in a presidential primary. I don't know the political handlers of Mr. Peter Obi. I hope they know that it is not the obedient that will vote in that presidential primary. I hope they know that it is not people that are shouting Terente Obi, Obi. I hope they know that it is not those people that will vote. And I hope Mr. Peter Obi knows that the presidential primary election, the people that will vote there, they are after their pocket as well. Like in 2023, I was shocked when Dele Momodu revealed that Nyesom Wike raised the stake of that particular election to $30,000 allegedly for one person. $30,000 US. Imagine that. Dele Momodu said a former president called him and said, Dele, don't even bother about that presidential PDP primary. Don't even waste your money. Don't even try to please anybody, because Nyesom Wike has raised the stake allegedly to $30,000 per delegate. So you can imagine, if it is true, if what Dele Momodu said is true, imagine $30,000 US. That is not a small money. And you can imagine the amount of delegates. So you may want to ask yourself, if Nyesom Wike have that particular money, Ameachi too, we may have that particular money, because if you look at it, their profile is very similar. Ameachi is governor of Rivers State. He was governor of Rivers State. Nyesom Wike was also governor of Rivers State. Ameachi was a minister, a powerful minister at that. Nyesom Wike is a minister as well. So if you look at it very well, they have like somewhat a similar profile. So I hope that Mr. Peter Obi is being very careful to remember that Nigerian presidential election is not about being a nice guy. It's not about how much you have donated. In fact, Nigerian politicians, they are very kind of like, should I say, incredible set of people, in the sense that if Nigerian politicians, if you have been doing something for them, you have been helping them, you have been doing a lot of things for them, you have always been there for them, you have been good to their family, the day that you need them and you want to vote, if somebody is offering a money that is higher than yours, they will just go with that person. They have forgotten all the things that you've done for them. So in this game, it's about what to gain. There's no loyalty in this game. So I hope Mr. Peter Obi realized that, because if you listen to that particular virtual interactive session that Amechi had, I can tell you that Amechi is strategizing to win the 2027 presidential election. And if you want to doubt the powers of Amechi against Mr. Peter Obi, don't forget that Rotimi Amaechi was the one that that came second in the APC presidential primary. Please, if you are watching me, do well to like this video, and also do well to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. To like video is free. Some of you don't know. You know, some of you will think to like video maybe they will deduct money from your account. No, it's just free. Just press the like button, and you can share your views, and I will read some of them. You know, and I think Ifeanyi says Obi should be allowed to run as coalition unified candidate. Well, will that happen? Maybe not. But what I can say is that if you look at this man, Rotimi Amaechi is one of the snake under the green grass. He's one of the people that people are not looking his way. Let me give you a perfect example. Let me give you just one example. Amaechi has mastered the act of, this corny politics, and I will tell you how. I think two examples come to mind. And I'm talking about if there's an Amaechi versus Peter Obi at the presidential primary in 2027. You see, Rotimi Amaechi has one thing going for him. You will recall that during the time of Celestine Omea in Rivers State, Celestine Omea was apparently the choice of Peter Odili at that point in time. But Rotimi Amaechi was the speaker, and he has, acquired one or two things for himself. He has kind of like, made contact and all that. And Rotimi Amaechi went ahead to contest for that particular governorship primary. And when he actually defeated Celestine Omea, but they used some, political gymnastics and abracadabra. And at the end of the day, when the matter got all the way to Supreme Court, the Supreme Court said, no. It was Amaechi that won this governorship ticket under the PDP. PDP went to the election. Votes that are cast during election belongs to the party. So because votes that are cast during election belongs to the party, and it was Rotimi Amaechi that in the wisdom of the Supreme Court is the rightful candidate of the party, then Celestine Omea is hereby sacked. I think it was Celestine Omea, I hope I'm correct, is hereby sacked, and power should be handed over to Rotimi Amaechi. That was how Amaechi became the governor of Rivers State. So for somebody that is good in that particular regard, so for somebody that knows how to muzzle his way, if you are a Peter Obi and you are going ahead into a political primary against such a person, then you need to up your game. You need to have mastered the art as well, or you have people that have mastered that art by your side. El-Rufai, I don't think El-Rufai is the best when it comes to presidential primaries and all that, but somebody that have that particular skill and knowledge that can help Mr. Peter Obi to match Amaechi power for power, word for word, is Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar, veteran contestant, shout out to him, great guy in his own right. He has been contesting since the days of MK Abiola. So Atiku knows how to cross from one party to another, a week to the election, and he will get the ticket. So I think Mr. Peter Obi needs to align with Atiku Abubakar. That is if Atiku Abubakar is not contesting the presidential election. So Rotimi Amaechi is somebody to look out for, and I hope that all this money that Mr. Peter Obi is sharing, I hope that he will be able to get the ticket, beat Amaechi. If not, all that money will amount to waste, and I hope that he have enough money in his pocket to be able to fund that presidential primary, because people won't just vote for him because he's Mr. Peter Obi. If Mr. Peter Obi is not sharing dollars and Rotimi Amaechi is bringing out dollars to the people will vote for him. That's the way Nigerian politicians are. Let me give you an example. It was reported that even the presidential primary of Mr. Integrity, the late Muhammadu Buhari, dollar was shared. The primary election in 2015, it was reported that dollar was shared, that the person that decided to go all out to help Muhammadu Buhari was the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu that some of them, the Buhari boys, are working against now. It was Bola Ahmed Tinubu allegedly that brought out the dollar. I think then maybe they said maybe $3,000 or $5,000 or something like that, because Atiku, roll out the dollars. Kwakwanso also participated in that primary. Maybe some of you have forgotten. So the primary election that produced Mr. Integrity, the share dollar. The primary election that produced Buhari, dollar was shared. So no, if the primary, if you know, if dollar could be shared in the primary election that produced Mr. Integrity as the candidate of APC, now imagine that will you say that when the ADC or whatever, when they want to do their primary, if Amechi and Peter Obi are on the same ballot in a presidential primary election, are you saying that dollar will not be shared? Dollars will be shared. So all these, you know, I know they give shishi and all that. I don't know how far it can help Mr. Peter Obi. Maybe after he has gotten the ticket first, maybe that I know the give shishi can work. But if you're on the ballot with the likes of Atiku Abubakar, and if Mr. Peter Obi decides to stay in the ADC, definitely Amechi will be his contender. That one is sure. That one is guaranteed. Amechi will contest against Mr. Peter Obi in the presidential primary. That one is sure. Keep this video and mark my words, Amechi will contest against him. The one I don't know is Atiku Abubakar. Maybe he will contest. Maybe wisdom will prevail on him and say, well, Obi, you are my boy. I believe in you. I trust you. Oh, yeah, go and do the one time. 2031, let's see what will happen. If Atiku decide not to contest, I see a situation whereby Atiku will want to support Mr. Peter Obi. I see that, you know, that cordial relationship between them. But if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar now decides that, oh, he wants to contest, then it is a problem, because you have Atiku, you have Amechi, and you have Mr. Peter Obi. Now, of all these three, you know, Amechi, as you know, knows the art of presidential primary. This Atiku Abubakar knows the art of presidential primary, but this Mr. Peter Obi, I don't think he knows the art of presidential primary, because when he was to contest under Labour Party, it was this man, Patu Tomi, that stepped down for him. So he was given the ticket of the Labour Party. Patu Tomi stepped down for him. So if the road gets tough in 2027 and Mr. Peter Obi finds himself in a situation whereby he has to fight for the presidential ticket, that nobody is willing to hand it over to him, nobody is willing to give him on a platter of gold, will he be able to withstand the storm? That is one thing that is very important. So I hope that Mr. Peter Obi will be strategizing adequately in that regard. Now, the phase 2, as regards Rotimi Amaechi, if you are watching me and you are yet to subscribe, of course, do want to subscribe to this channel. The phase 2, as regards Rotimi Amaechi, is that of the 2023 presidential election, when he said that, if I'm to say the truth, if I'm not to lie, me, Rotimi Amaechi, I'm saying that Obi won that election, particularly in Rivers State. That was what Rotimi Amaechi said. Let us look at it. Interesting disclosure, isn't it? That Obi won that election, particularly in Rivers State. I think Amaechi was being careful. He didn't want to speak too much, because they were asking him about what he will do, maybe as regards the economy or something, or they were asking him about his strategy, and he said, well, I can't review everything now, but well, my door is open. I can meet some of you and discuss it with you privately. So that means that Amaechi knows a lot. And don't forget that he was in the APC as well. He came second. He defeated Yemi Oshibajo. But look at that revelation that Obi won in Rivers State, and he now kept quiet. He didn't want to make further revelation. But let us look at that revelation that Obi won in Rivers State. Is it not interesting that somebody will win an election and that person will be robbed of his mandate? Is it not interesting? Is it not shocking? Right? If Rotimi Amaechi, that is in the APC, can say that, well, let me just limit it to Rivers State. Obi won that election in Rivers State. Then you may want to ask yourself, what happened to the result in Rivers State, and what is the effort of the security agencies to hold those that are responsible for changing that result? What is the work of this? What is the effort of the security agencies into holding them accountable? Another thing is that, what is the how can we be sure that such thing will not repeat itself in 2027? And that is what I was talking about as regards electoral reform. If you joined my video earlier, I was talking about electoral reform and the body language of the Tinubu government, and I assert that other governments are pretending to be serious about electoral reform, but this Tinubu government, they seem to be cold. They are not even pretending to be serious. And if no electoral reform occurs in 2025, Senate is on recess now. Maybe they will resume September, October. That will be like October, November, so that will be 3 months to the end of the year. Now, since 2026, the presidential election will be in top gear. It will be a year away because the 2027 election will be coming up in about February. So if no electoral reform takes place now, that means that you'll be going into the election with the same template. And what can we use to say that what is happening or what happened in Rivers State will not happen again? Because the revelation from Rotimi Amaechi is a very, very strong revelation. It's not a revelation that somebody can just push aside and say, no, it's not important, or don't worry, that will not happen again. Don't forget that when this happened, Bola Ahmed Tinubu wasn't even the president of Nigeria. He didn't enjoy presidential powers, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to use his sagacity to maneuver his way. Even Buhari was against Tinubu's emergence in that 2023 presidential election. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he wasn't president, and even Muhammadu Buhari didn't want him to emerge, apparently, I've discussed that before on this platform, and Muhammadu Buhari doesn't want him to emerge from all the Naira redesign and some of the policies of the government at that point in time. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, rightly or wrongly, still managed to emerge as president. Now imagine that same Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president is the one that is now seeking re-election. If what happened in Rivers State against Mr. Peter Obi, as confessed by Rotimi Amaechi himself, if it happens again in 2027, how do you move against it? How do you go against it? This is something that people need to look into. If you want to contribute to this platform, just indicate in the comment section. Then I will kind of like give you a means that you can call in and make your contribution. So 2027 is not an easy thing. It's not something that it will just come and go. Or a lot of things will happen. A lot of magic will happen. I can tell you that a lot of things will happen. And don't forget that Nyesom Wike is saying all of a sudden that he wants to build a new headquarters for INEC. He's not innovating. He wants to build a new one from the scratch. And you know that when you are building something from the scratch, that means that they will move to that new office, right? They need to install new technologies, new gadgets into that particular office. That is one point on its own. Don't forget that it is Tinubu that will appoint the INEC chairman. That is another point. Tinubu will appoint the Inspector General of Police. So if the abracadabra that happened in Rivers State that Amechi is now confessing, and you may wonder, okay, Amechi, if truly it happened, why is it now that you are confessing? When the case was in court, why didn't you go to the court and say, my lord, I'm here to testify that Peter Obi won that election? Why didn't you go to court to testify if you are truly a patriotic Nigerian? So I think that Amechi's confession is late in time, but still it is still an important revelation that nobody can wish away. But then, if nothing happens, definitely you expect worst than that in 2027, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now the incumbent president. So these are some of the things that we must look into going towards 2027. And another thing is that, you see, this 2027 presidential election, some people will be looking for free tickets. For instance, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will automatically get a free ticket because definitely he's working his way towards that, and nobody will be able to challenge him. That is one. Labour Party is now in crisis. Even the ADC is now in crisis. Let me tell you about it. This presidential candidate of ADC, Peter Obi now is part of the ADC, one leg in ADC, one leg in Labour Party, and that ADC now is in a serious crisis. And let me first of all say, before I tell you what happened, and you see that crisis in ADC is not just coincidence. It is beyond coincidence that there's crisis in ADC at the moment. There's crisis in PDP. There's crisis in Labour Party. There's crisis in NNPP. Abba. Why is it that all these parties, there are crisis in them? It speaks to one thing, the voice of Jacob and the answer of Esau. So the 2023 presidential candidate of ADC, he came out and said, well, for me, this presidential election that is upcoming, we won't allow the Atiku and the others to hijack the party. And that particular issue, they now went to gather the state chairman of the ADC in some state, and they came to Channels TV. They parade themselves right in front of the TV and say, well, when Atiku come and David Mark, Aregbesola, and others were to take over the party. We didn't sign that we are handing over the party to them. And Kachukwu came with 4 state chairman. Now, let me first of all tell you about the political behavior in that regard. If you are dissatisfied, right, you will express yourself. But for you to now go and take those chairmen, for you to go and kind of like uproot them and bring them to live television, 4 of them, I think it was yesterday, Politics Today with Seun Okinbaloye. You brought them to live television and they were saying that, oh, we don't want this, we no go agree and all that. That shows some desperation. That shows there's something happening behind the scene. Then the chairman of that ADC, he made a revelation some time ago. He said that these particular people that are now saying that they don't want new people to take over the party, that before they don't even have money to book a flight, that some of them, they cannot even have money to flex, but now they are lodging in Transcorp Hilton, they are living large, they are driving nice cars. That what is the magic that? And it is not just one person, that it is the people that are opposing them. Now, where did they get the money? People that can barely flex before, they are now spending weeks in Transcorp Hilton. I think I've forgotten the name of Raf Umosu, the chairman that handed over to David Mark. He said these people are now flexing, these people are now enjoying themselves, these people are now living large. So that shows you that for them to appear on Channels TV, it is not for nothing. So all these parties are in crisis. And even if what's the name of this party, ADA, even if it is registered today, that party may still even be embroiled in crisis. All these things are not for nothing. So the only person right now that ticket is sure for and platform is sure for right now, as I'm telling you, is just Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's why some people are clamoring that from all this thing that is happening, is it that they want to make Nigeria a one-party state? Because if you look at it well, what is happening seems to be like an orchestration of the ruling party to apparently make Nigeria a one-party state truly, because we would imagine that why is it that it is only in APC that there seems to be some stability. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why APC appears to be stable than others. One of the reasons is because, you see, when you are in power, when you are the party in power, you have a lot to share. You will recall that when PDP was the ruling party at that point in time, for the 16 years, they know how to kind of like maneuver their way. If there is a problem, they know how to resolve it amongst themselves, because there's a lot to share. If you are angry that they didn't make you a minister, if you are so agitated that, oh, they didn't make me minister, I'm angry, they'll say, come, don't worry, go and be an ambassador in this country. You'll be like, okay, oh, still joy. If they didn't make you an ambassador, they'll say, come, can you head Nigerian Port Authority? Oh yeah, go and head Nigerian Port Authority. You'll be like, okay, oh, joy. If they didn't give you that, they'll say, come, go and head NIMASA. So, or they can say, we want to appoint vice chancellor in this university. Do you have a candidate? Oh yeah, bring that person. So they have something to compensate you. There's a lot of lagis to compensate people, and that is why you see that in most parties, in most ruling parties, there's usually this stability. Even if you are angry, even if you are dissatisfied, you'll be like, no, let me not leave this party, let me still stay with them. Now turn by turn, maybe they will remember me someday. That is why there seems to be a bit of stability in the APC. But I can tell you, it is not all of them that likes Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So that is one thing that one has to look about, that is very important. Now, there is another news that Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, begs Mr. Peter Obi that Jonathan, Obi, don't contest, I will give you ministerial slot. And that was revealed by Ibe Kachukwu. Ibe Kachukwu said, that's the former candidate of the presidential candidate of ADC. He said Jonathan is currently begging Mr. Peter Obi that, Obi, don't run in 2027. Don't worry, I will give you, I will make you a minister in my cabinet. You know that if you are not a president, one of the best things that the president can compensate you with is being a minister. But then there is a problem. Can Obi afford to be a minister? And is Obi permutating in such a way that he wants to be a minister. If you look at the body language of Obi and how Obi has been doing, how he has been scheming and doing his permutation, Obi doesn't appear like somebody that wants to become a minister or somebody that is interested in becoming a minister. And that is where there is a fresh dilemma now, because if Obi says that, Oga, sorry, I respect you, you are still our Oga, with profound respect to you, but I cannot be a minister in your cabinet. What I want to be is the president. So you have been president before. They defeated you. Let me be president. I want to do one time. So with profound respect, sir, former President Goodluck Jonathan, I'm not willing to step down for you. Please, I don't want to be a minister. And don't forget something. In Nigeria, even if Jonathan makes Obi a minister, let me tell you something. You see, let's break this thing down, in depthly now. If Jonathan makes Obi a minister, do you know where the problem is? That particular ministerial position doesn't have a particular tenure. That means that the president can lure you. Jonathan can lure Obi that Obi, okay, I'll make you a minister. At the end of the day, if he becomes the president, if he doesn't make Obi minister, what will happen? I think that's the good place to start first. Apologies. What will happen if Jonathan does not make Obi a minister, as he is begging him, as reported by Ibe Kachuku? What will happen? Nothing will happen. Example lies in the case of Nasir El-Rufai. Nasir El-Rufai is just clamoring, Bola Tinubu promised. In fact, that one is even worse. Shebi is now reported that Jonathan is begging Peter Obi behind the scene that, Obi, allow me, I'm your brother, show me love, let me run. Don't worry, I will give you ministerial position and all that. That one is behind the scene. But the one of El-Rufai was before the general public. El-Rufai was, I think, planning to go to Egypt. He can't go to Europe to study for PhD based on this, this nonsense statement that he made that, they will return in body bags. You remember that particular statement that they will return in body bags. So some of these European countries, they have his record. So he can't go to Europe. I think he was preparing to go to Egypt or one country like that for his PhD. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu begged him publicly, El-Rufai, please don't go. I need your wisdom in your, in my government. If I win, you are a very intelligent guy. You know how to turn. How did Tinubu put it that time? You know how to turn a bad situation into a terrible one, or a terrible situation into a bad one. He made that statement somehow. And at the end of the day, Tinubu won. He didn't make El-Rufai minister. So if Obi accepts to step down for Goodluck Jonathan, that, Oga, okay, all things considered, and now step down for you. The first thing is that if he steps down for Goodluck Jonathan and decides to be a minister, if Jonathan eventually wins that election and he didn't make Obi minister, what will happen? Nothing will happen. At the end of the day, absolutely nothing is going to happen. Now, let us look at it from another dimension. If Obi decides to step down for Goodluck Jonathan, that means that Obi's presidential ambition has perished, because he has to wait till 2039. Can Obi afford to wait till 2039? So that is why, if you look at it, it is not impossible that Jonathan is truly begging Obi behind the scene, as revealed by Ibe Kachuku. But if that is true, let us look at it very well. If that is true, that Jonathan is begging Obi, that means that Obi's presidential ambition has perished, because by 2039, Obi would have gone old, and maybe there will be some new people. So that means that his presidential something has perished. And don't forget that even Obi have spent a lot of money to run presidential campaign in 2023. For him to be going about, winning people and all that. In fact, some people will be calling him, some of his friends and associates will be calling him, my president, your excellency, the sycophants in Nigeria. So can Obi afford to step down for Goodluck Jonathan? Apparently, no. And that itself is a problem. And I read somewhere, that Jonathan gave them a condition. He gave condition to the PDP people that if he wants to be the president, if he wants to receive the presidential ticket of the party, he gave a particular there are like 6 conditions. I think it's on this particular gadget that I'm using. I could have read it out to you, but I remember some of them offhand, and I will share it with you. They said Jonathan gave a condition that if you want me to be the presidential flag bearer of the PDP, you have to win Atiku Abubakar back to the PDP. you have to win Peter Obi back to the PDP, then you have to sack Nyesom Wike and his political allies from the party. According to that particular report that I read, it was said that Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, that they met Goodluck Jonathan in Gambia, that they traveled all the way to Gambia. According to what I read, I don't know whether that is the case, but I'm just revealing it to you that they traveled all the way to Gambia to meet with the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. And when they met with him, they said, Oga, we've looked left and right, back and forth, and we think that you will be a good candidate in 2027 to help us snatch power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Oga, please come and take the ticket of the party. And Jonathan reportedly, from in that particular report, he looked at them and he was saying that, well, this thing that you guys are bringing, you have stated what you want from me. Can I say what I want from you? And they said, Oga, you can say what you want from us. Okay, what do you want, Oga? And Jonathan reportedly, in what I read, he said, allegedly that he wants Atiku Abubakar back in the PDP. He wants Peter Obi back in the PDP. He wants them to talk to Rabiu Kwakwanso, and also Nyesom Wike and his cohorts should be expelled from the PDP. That is a very difficult thing to achieve. Let me pick it one after the other. Number one, Atiku Abubakar just left the PDP. And follow me in what I'm analyzing for you. And I want to read some of your comments in the comment section. If you are yet to like this video or you are yet to subscribe, of course, do well to subscribe to this channel. And in that particular meeting, he mentioned Atiku Abubakar must come back, Obi must come back, and they should talk to Rabiu Kwakwanso. Let us pick it from Atiku Abubakar before we go to Mr. Peter Obi. Atiku Abubakar apparently cannot return to the PDP. And follow me in body, soul, and spirit with what I'm about to dissect for you. Follow me very carefully. Open your mind, open your heart, and just listen to me attentively. Now, Atiku Abubakar cannot return to the PDP. And one of the reasons is that he just left the PDP, and for him to now just return back to the PDP, definitely he will not do that. And one of the reasons Atiku will not do that is that he knows that if he returns to the PDP, it is not to his own benefit, it is to the benefit of Goodluck Jonathan. And Atiku only move when he has something to gain. If you look at the political history of Atiku Abubakar, he moves when something is already waiting for him. Atiku has not moved just because he want to go and benefit somebody. No, Atiku won't do that. He doesn't do that. Atiku believes that he is strong in his own right. Atiku believes, I don't know the people that are talking to him or deceiving him, I don't know. But there are some people that will be telling him that, Atiku, you can still win this election. This is your time. Don't worry. Keep trying. Don't give up. Oh. So for Atiku to leave the PDP, he has apparently seen that that ticket is not sure for him. He left the PDP. Now, Goodluck Jonathan is allegedly saying that if they want to give him the ticket, they must bring Atiku back. Now, Atiku Abubakar will not come back because he knows that if he comes back, it is to the benefit of another person. And Atiku doesn't move just because he wants to benefit other people. Atiku moves when there is food for him to eat. Atiku doesn't move because he wants to go and serve people food or he wants to go and feed people. No. And Atiku now is seeing himself as a political superstar of the North. He believes that now that Muhammadu Buhari is gone and, dead and buried, he believes that he is the next person to inherit that Buhari 12 million vote or whatever. And if you look at it, he's the one that comes close when it comes to election in the North. So Atiku will not move to the PDP as Jonathan is requesting. Another point in that regard, before I move to Obi, I'm coming to Peter Obi, and I'm coming to Nyesom Wike and Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, because Goodluck Jonathan reportedly mentioned these people that they should bring Atiku back, bring Obi back, bring Rabiu Kwakwanso, then sack Wike. Now 4 people, right? I've talked about Atiku Abubakar, but I'm not done with Atiku Abubakar. I will still talk about Mr. Peter Obi. Now, that's one of Atiku Abubakar. Another thing is that Atiku Abubakar sees Goodluck Jonathan as a boy. Let me explain to you. You see, politics is it's like there's hierarchy in the political game. Just as in your office, I don't know your occupation, I don't know the kind of business you do, but if you are a professional, there will be hierarchy. For instance, I'm an academic, and in the academic world, there's still hierarchy. There's full professor, there's associate professor, some people call it reader, there is assistant professor in some continent. There are different academic cadre. Even now, there is emeritus professor, right? Now, in that particular hierarchy, in the political scene, Atiku Abubakar sees himself as a big man, sees himself as a boss, that when he is talking, Goodluck Jonathan is still coming behind. Because as at when he was the vice president, where is Goodluck Jonathan? So Atiku Abubakar sees Goodluck Jonathan as somebody beneath him. So you cannot tell him to now cross over back to the PDP and then come and support Goodluck Jonathan to win, when he himself wants the party, wants the ticket, when he himself wants that particular position, when it is his lifelong ambition to become the president of Nigeria. So there's nothing you can use to convince Atiku Abubakar that, oh yeah, Oga, come to the PDP and come back, let us support Goodluck Jonathan to serve a term. The Atiku Abubakar will feel insulted that, no, how will you tell me to come and support who? Jonathan, my boy. Jonathan, no. If it's the like of Muhammadu Buhari, that has been a former head of state, if it's the like of Yakubu Gowon, if it's the likes of Olusegun Obasanjo, Atiku Abubakar will be like, okay, Obasanjo, former head of state. When Obasanjo was the head of state, I wasn't very strong at that point in time. Okay, yeah, Muhammadu Buhari, former head of state. These are big guys. But Goodluck Jonathan, for Atiku to return to PDP, and now the request for Atiku to return to the PDP is allegedly not even made by the people in the party. It's reportedly being made by Goodluck Jonathan himself. So Atiku will feel insulted that, based on the hierarchy of political ascendancy in Nigeria, Atiku will be like, when I was the vice president from 1999 to 2007, where are you? Maybe you are still a lecturer in University of Port Harcourt or something. So you want me, Atiku Abubakar, to come back to the PDP, to come and support you to win? Atiku will feel insulted. So Atiku Abubakar, looking at it, it will not happen for Atiku to come back. And I've given you two major points now that Atiku wants the ticket. He just left the PDP. Atiku doesn't work for others to chop. Atiku only comes when there is food. So if you are telling him to come back, definitely you are telling him to come and work for Goodluck Jonathan. Then he sees Goodluck Jonathan apparently as somebody beneath him. That anytime, any day, Jonah, you are younger than me, right? When I was the vice president, you are nowhere to be found. And age is still on your side, so you can wait for me. I'm your senior brother in this game. You are supposed to respect me. That one is there. Now look at Rabiu Kwakwanso before I go to Mr. Peter Obi. The big question is, if you are saying that Kwakwanso must return to the PDP, then what do you want to offer Kwakwanso? Then it will be signed, sealed and delivered that Kwakwanso will be the vice presidential candidate to Goodluck Jonathan. That is one of the things that you can use to lure Rabiu Kwakwanso. I'm still coming to Mr. Peter Obi. That's one of the things that you can use to lure Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso. That, okay, Kwakwanso, come. Now that you are a local champion, all your life is just Kano, Kwakwanso, all these things. You cannot, gain any national prominence. Come back to the PDP. Okay, we have something for you. You will still be in charge of Kano State. You will still be the godfather of Kano State. Then you will be the vice presidential candidate of our ticket. Then Kwakwanso will be like, okay, sounds nice, sounds juicy. Okay, sounds interesting. VP candidate, PDP. Okay, don't forget, I'm still coming to Wike and Peter Obi. It's okay, let me join. That means that there's something for Rabiu Kwakwanso. But then there is a problem. Do you know where the problem is? The problem is that there's somebody like Nasir El-Rufai who has been running helter-skelter. All this run that El-Rufai is running all over the place. You think he loves Nigeria? It's a lie. He's only kind of like scheming to become the vice presidential candidate to Mr. Peter Obi. That is all the race that El-Rufai is running. Today, El-Rufai's wife will say, Igbos are good people. All this problem that they are saying that Igbos are bad people is a lie. Then tomorrow, El-Rufai's son Bashir will say, oh, I'm now convinced that Peter Obi is not a bad guy after all. It's my former party, APC, that convinced me. Then, in the same El-Rufai that said, oh, Mr. Peter Obi cannot win a presidential election. How will he win? Peter Obi cannot. You remember that video? Obi cannot win cannot win an election in Nigeria and all that. Suddenly, the man himself is now saying that, oh, Obi is, is a good guy. He's a nice guy. El-Rufai is not acting just for the sake of acting sake. El-Rufai is not doing all what he's doing just because he just like Nigeria. No, El-Rufai is strategically positioning himself. He is walking the ropes to make sure that at the end of the day, he emerge as the presidential candidate of the ADC with Mr. Vice presidential candidate with Mr. Peter Obi. And I will tell you, this thing is about alignment and realignment. El-Rufai is strategically positioning himself with Obi because he has seen Obi as the people's choice, as the strategic person. He's not even aligning with this guy, this former governor, Rotimi Amaechi. He's aligning with Obi. It's for a reason. Now, Obi himself, some of you don't understand all this political calculation and arithmetic. Obi himself is playing clever. El-Rufai is aligning with Obi. Obi is aligning with Bala Muhammad. Oh, Nigeria. 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 El-Rufai is aligning with Obi, trying to clinch Obi. All of a sudden, all his family is praising Obi. Oh, Obi is the best thing. Obi is now a good guy. Obi is great. Obi is, after Jesus. In fact, we don't know whether Obi is, is the new Messiah. Obi can turn things around. Oh, Obi is this. Oh, Obi is that. Oh, the same Obi that you abused. The same Obi that you tongue lashed. The same Obi that you said, Obi can never win election. The same Obi that, I remember something very important. El-Rufai, during the election, when Tinubu was there, when he went to campaign in Kaduna, El-Rufai said, oh, when I was in Anambra State, that useless boy called Obi, he arrested me in my hotel because he was the governor at that point in time. He locked me on, he locked me up in hotel for like 4 hours or so. Now he wants to come and campaign in Kaduna State and all that. Okay, we'll be waiting for him, but we are good people. We won't, nothing will happen to Obi. But then, he should remember that what he did to me, I haven't forgotten, Tinubu was there. They were all laughing. Now, the same Obi is the person that El-Rufai is aligning with. Suddenly, El-Rufai, Obi is now a good guy. El-Rufai is positioning himself just so that he can be the vice presidential candidate and ultimately the presidential candidate. And that is why El-Rufai and Nuhu Ribadu, they are not in good terms, and they can never. You see, I don't like analyzing some of these things to people sometimes, but I just have no choice. That's why El-Rufai and Nuhu Ribadu, they can never be friends. Do you know why? Nuhu Ribadu is thinking that, oh, Tinubu has used him before. Definitely Tinubu can use him again. That, well, in that year, Tinubu used him as the presidential candidate in Tinubu's party. Maybe it was ACN or AC at that point in time. So Nuhu Ribadu thinks that since that point in time, he has maintained a good relationship with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And don't forget, this is very important, don't forget that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, one of the first appointments that he made was Nuhu Ribadu as the National Security Advisor. Nuhu Ribadu was one of the first appointments that Bola Ahmed Tinubu made. As I want to appoint National Security Advisor. Oh yeah, Nuhu Ribadu, go there. Now, let me point out something to you. You can never appoint somebody that you don't trust. You can never appoint somebody that you don't see materially as your National Security Advisor. Else you are finished. Else your life don't spoil. But for Tinubu to appoint Nuhu Ribadu as a security advisor, that thing gave Nuhu Ribadu confidence. That thing gave him a lot of courage that, I don't arrive. I don't come. 2031, na me, Nuhu Ribadu. Na me go sit on that seat. Because you see that, Tinubu appointed him and, he was quite inspired. This is where the problem is. I told you they know themselves. El-Rufai also has presidential ambition. Then Nuhu Ribadu now thinks that, Tinubu is thinking to give you Minister of Power. You, Minister of Power, that's a very strong position. If you serve in that cabinet, for like 8 years, then you would have kind of like wield so much influence. Then by 2031, now you go on the tackle me abi. Okay, no what? I'm the national security advisor. Go and clear yourself in the Senate. Let me see. If a security report comes and the security report indicts you, let me see how Senate will overrule that security report and clear you. It's not possible. The Senate will not overlook that report except if they now dialogue among themselves and say, well, let my people go and all that. So there's some deep politics behind this thing. Now that that has failed, I gave you that background for a reason. Now that that has failed, and now El-Rufai is now pitching his tent with Mr. Peter Obi. But then, as he's pitching his tent with Mr. Peter Obi, he's still open his brain wide, strategizing that how can he become that president that he kind of like desires to be. And that is if Obi becomes the president, and he will work his way and see maybe Obi can hand over to him, or he too can from there ascend to become the president. Although it is always very difficult for the deputy to take over from their boss in the presidential politics of Nigeria. So these issues, they are very interwoven and interconnected. So if you now want to bring Kwakwanso back, don't forget that I'm on Kwakwanso. If you now want to bring Kwakwanso back, as allegedly requested by former President Goodluck Jonathan, if you want to bring him back, the only thing you can use to lure in the biscuit that you can throw to him is that, okay, Kwakwanso, come and be the VP. Then the big question is, where does that leave El-Rufai? I intentionally gave you that background since the campaign of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Oh, you'll be my minister, Senate screening and all that. El-Rufai was appointed as. I intentionally gave you that background so that you can understand what this means to Nasir El-Rufai. So if you bring Kwakwanso back, you would have affected El-Rufai. And is El-Rufai willing to let go? That is the problem. Is Kwakwanso willing to return without you offering him something substantial, without you offering him something juicy? Don't forget that Kwakwanso have exhibited some form of arrogance. He said, oh, I can't be a deputy to Obi. If you look at my CV, I'm more qualified than Peter Obi. I've been a senator, I've been this, I've been that. But then he has never been a president. So apparently he won't reject being the vice president to Goodluck Jonathan. But can Kwakwanso come back? Yes, he can come back. That is if and only if Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not win him over, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is good at these things. He knows his way around all these things and all these people. Don't forget that tomorrow Kwakwanso may change the music and say, well, I have decided to follow Tinubu, and that is it. And Tinubu will be working towards that. Forget about this criticism that he made recently. Now, let us now go to if Kwakwanso did not come back. That one is gone. So the Kwakwanso one is 50-50, right? That article on that I analyzed earlier is maybe 1090 or 2080. Yeah, that is said. Now, there is still Mr. Peter Obi and that of Nyesom Wike. Let us look at that of Nyesom Wike first before we go to Mr. Peter Obi. You see, Nyesom Wike is a problem, and it will continue to be a problem. And Nyesom Wike has his ears to the ground. So if you say you want to sack Nyesom Wike believes so much in trouble, and it will make the trouble to the last. So the question is, how easy will it be for you to be able to expel Nyesom Wike as allegedly demanded by Goodluck Jonathan? And Nyesom Wike is political capital. What the thing that is giving him value in the Tinubu camp is his ability to destroy. That's one of the things that is giving him value. You will recall that Godswill Akpabio said when Tinubu won the election and they visited Rivers State, Godswill Akpabio said, Wike, please, maintain your steez just so that in 2027 you can still make trouble and give us easy win. Some of you will remember that particular statement by Godswill Akpabio when they visited Rivers State. He said, Nyesom Wike, please continue doing what you are doing, and we will appreciate if you can still make trouble in 2027 so that you can give Bola Ahmed Tinubu an easy win He made this statement in 2023, even before Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in. So you can imagine that Nyesom Wike's political capital in the PDP is his ability to destroy, is his ability to ferment trouble. Nyesom Wike is not just fermenting trouble for nothing, just because he likes trouble. No, he knows that that is what is giving him value. Immediately there is peace in the PDP. Definitely there's nothing he's doing to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I've analyzed it before that Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't like strong men when it comes to politics. And Nyesom Wike has proven that he is a strong guy. If there's time, I will kind of like recap it for you. I've analyzed it in my past videos that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he doesn't like strong guys when it comes to politics. But Nyesom Wike has proven that he is a strong guy. He's a guy that has his mind, that has the mind, or that has a mind of his own. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't like such kind of people. I can give you like 8 examples in that regard. But let me continue in the trajectory that I'm flowing. So for you to sack Nyesom Wike will be very difficult. And Nyesom Wike, rather than for you to sack him, worst case he will go to the court. And when if Nyesom Wike get to the court, don't forget that his wife is an appeal court judge. Nyesom Wike himself is a is a barrister. And Nyesom Wike is in the FCT there. He's building, house for judges and all that. Nyesom Wike has his own network. His network is very strong and solid. And to now cap it up, Nyesom Wike has a large pocket. There are 3 people in Nigeria. Let me give you this. In Nigeria of today, there are 3 politicians that money is not a problem and they are not afraid to spend it. 3 of them that if they say that, oh, let me use a name. If they say that Ifeanyi in the comments, if they say, oh, Ifeanyi is the problem, if they tell these 3 politicians can afford, if it is 2 trillion naira, if they have it, they will give it to Ifeanyi and say, oh, Ifeanyi, just do this thing for me. They know how to beg when they are supposed to beg. They know how to roar when they are supposed to roar. They know how to appeal when they are supposed to appeal. 3 of them in Nigeria now. Number 1, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't know the kind of money that, somebody doesn't spend. He has a large pocket. He has a deep pocket. Number 2, Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike has a lot of money at his disposal. And with the level of poverty in Nigeria, with profound respect to some of these people in high places, even if you are a judge, how much is your salary? How much is your retirement benefits? Compared to a politician that is a trillionaire, a politician in Nigeria cannot give you 50 billion before you run mad. How much is your salary? How much is the whole of your benefit and all that? So if a politician said that, okay, all this your benefit and everything, when you retire, it will amount to 60 million, 60 million. Oh, okay, don't worry. I'll give you 60 billion. You think Nigerian politicians don't have that money? I'll give you 60. Who are you? You will run mad. You say, come again, 60 billion. Don't worry. Just go. Signed, sealed, and delivered. And that is it. So, Nyesom Wike is somebody that has a large pocket. So, if you want to expel him to please Goodluck Jonathan, according to what some of these politicians are saying, it won't be easy because Nyesom Wike will go to court. He will get an order returning returning back to status quo antebellum, which is that return back to how things were before, which is that return Nyesom Wike back as a member of the party, pending the determination of the suit before the court. And once that order is given, right, once that injunction is given, that injunction can last for as long as possible based on the wisdom of the court. The problem is the court will now decide not to give judgment. If the court decide not to give judgment on that particular case, and the court have said let status quo antebellum be maintained, that means that return to how things were before. At the end of the day, election will come. Nyesom Wike will still be a member of the PDP. Then he will begin to flog you. He will begin to give you headache. He will begin to dismantle the structure. He will begin to make sure that there is no peace. Because why? That is his political capital. Let me explain something to you. Nyesom Wike in the PDP at the moment is like somebody that is building coffin. Somebody that is building coffin that, we usually build coffin. The prayer of such a person is that people should die. If people do not die, the man that is, making coffin will not eat. So if there is no crisis in the PDP, Nyesom Wike is as good as finished. So he realized that. So for that reason, there can never be peace in the PDP. That is one thing you need to look at. Because that is his own political capital. Now that one, they give him chop. And Nyesom Wike apparently seem to be addicted to power. I've told you people some time ago in one of my live videos that power is addictive. Some of you will think, oh, it is only drugs, it is only beer that is addictive. No, power itself is something that is addictive. So if Nyesom Wike, from the look of things, now decide to stay in the PDP, or he decide to keep fermenting the trouble, at the end of the day, Goodluck Jonathan will be on a chosen word. That is one aspect to that of Nyesom Wike. I'm still coming to Mr. Peter Obi. Don't forget that I'm dissecting for you that if the request that was allegedly made by Goodluck Jonathan, that for him to return to PDP and get the ticket when they allegedly met him in Gambia, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State and others, if it is true that Goodluck Jonathan in this said that for him to come back, you must bring Atiku back. I've dissected that for you. You must bring what's the number 2? That you must bring Peter Obi back. I'm here to dissect that you must bring Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso back. I've dissected that for you. And he allegedly said that you must expel Nyesom Wike. So I'm now on Nyesom Wike, then I will go to Mr. Peter Obi. So if you now decide that you want to expel Nyesom Wike, it will not be easy. It will not be easy like that, because if Nyesom Wike is to destabilize the PDP and is to destabilize it to the benefit of the APC, and APC is the ruling party, APC is influential, that means that APC will back him if we want to sack him, to make sure that he is returned into the PDP to make that particular trouble. So sacking Nyesom Wike will not be as easy as that. If I finish this, if there's time, I will go into the dilemma of Nyesom Wike. There's something that I call the dilemma of Nyesom Wike as regards his prominence to politics, the role of Goodluck Jonathan, and if Jonathan decides to contest, definitely Nyesom Wike will be in a dilemma, because when Nyesom Wike's career was almost finishing, it was the Jonathan that resurrected it. So if Jonathan is now returning to contest, Nyesom Wike will be in a dilemma, because he won't have much say in Rivers State. The Goodluck Jonathan will definitely sweep Rivers State. So there's some dilemma dynamics attached to that. But I'll come back to that. Let me go to Mr. Peter Obi. Now, if Mr. Peter Obi is if it is true that Goodluck Jonathan requested that Peter Obi should return back to the PDP as a condition for him to accept the ticket of the party, you see, it will be very difficult, if not impossible. And one of the reasons why it will be very difficult is that, you see, when you get to a stage in life when you want to take a decision, sometimes you will not only think about yourself, that okay, this decision that I want to take, what is it about this decision? What is it for me and all that? No, you will be thinking about other people, the people that are propelling you. Now, take note of that. The people that are propelling you, which is the people that are behind you, the people that are supporting you, the people that are your inspiration. So those propelling you, those that are your backbone, you have to think about them. And that is where the problem lies. Now, Mr. Peter Obi, I have great respect for the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. And let me tell you one thing I admire about Obi. There are things I admire about each and every one of them, even including Bola Ahmed. But let me tell you the one of Obi, which is that, he have this kind of like character that, a leader, somebody that wants to lead Nigeria should have, in terms of temperament, in terms of oration. He has this matured way to things. You won't see Mr. Peter Obi say, oh, this person is mad. You won't see him say, oh, this one is a boy. You won't compare Peter Obi now to somebody like Nyesom Wike, the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he reasons, and all that. So if you look at it quite well, you will see that Mr. Peter Obi, even if he wants to return to the PDP, he will say, okay, Tinubu must go by fire by force. Let me go and support Goodluck Jonathan. There is a problem. If you are watching me and you are yet to subscribe, of course, do well to subscribe and turn on your notification button. And if you are watching me, of course, please do well to like this particular video so that other people can get to see it. Now, there is a problem, which is that if Peter Obi wants to return to the PDP to go and support Goodluck Jonathan, the big question is what will happen to his support base, the obedient. Right now, there are some people, and if you look carefully in Nigeria now, there are some people that believe that it is Obi or nothing. You either give them Obi or else they don't want to hear you. If you are not giving them Peter Obi, they are not interested in anything you want to say. And Mr. Peter Obi himself is nothing without these people. It is these people that is making him who he is. So the big question in all of this is that even if Obi wished to, the propelling force behind him cannot let him act accordingly. That's one major problem of Mr. Peter Obi. Apart from the fact that if he agrees to that particular arrangement, that oh, okay, I'll be a minister to you, sir. Let me, let me cross carpet and support you, Goodluck Jonathan. Oh yeah, take the ticket. At the end of the day, if he agrees to that, which I don't see that happening, what will be his fate? He will lose his support base. In fact, he will lose his integrity, sir, because some of these obedient will just abandon him completely. Because, and don't forget that one thing about Nigerians, now listen to this attentively. I won't give you any example in that regard because my time is fast spent, but just think as an adult, you see that examples abound. If Nigerians love you organically, don't take my word for it. Look into sport, look into entertainment, look into art and culture, look into governance, look across. I can give you like 20 examples, but I won't give you none because I won't be giving you everything. Just think about it, and if you think of some, you to give me. Now, give me in the comment section. If you look at the political landscape of Nigeria, you would see that if Nigerians love you organically, if you didn't buy their vote, you didn't kind of like do anything to them, they just love you just out of genuineness, out of their own free will, there is a problem. If Nigerians love you and you misbehave, if they abandon you, they don't look back. Oh. Let me give you one. I've said I won't give you an example, but let me just give you this one. For instance, this guy, very dark man. You know that the love that Nigerians have for very dark man at the moment is organic. It's not that he kind of buy anything from them or he's giving them money. It's just pure organic love based on his actions, some of the things that he is doing. Now, same for Mr. Peter Obi. The love that they have for him is apparently organic. Brother Omokri will say, oh, Obi is not a good guy. This, that, this. Even today, Brother Omokri have seem to switch gear now. When they report that Ameachi says if Nigeria elect him in 2027, he will do this, he will do that, he will change the country, he will do like this, he will dance like this, he will dance like that. All of a sudden, Mokri today seem to have changed gear to be attacking Rotimi Amaechi. So if you want Reno Mokri, to be your guest, just declare that you want to be president. Reno Mokri will focus on you because some of his posts that I saw today, he was attacking Rotimi Amaechi back to back. Why? Because the media reports that, based on the virtual meeting that Ameachi had, he said, if he's made the president of Nigeria, he will do this within a year. He will change this, he will do this, he will do that. Reno Mokri have shift base to Ameachi just like that. So, back to Mr. Peter Obi, if Nigerians love you, if Nigerians like you, if Nigerians adore you, don't joke with it. Don't ever take them for a ride. That is the greatest mistake anybody that is a Nigerian can make, except if you are not a Nigerian. Maybe you were born in the United States, Canada, then maybe they brought you into Nigeria maybe a year or 2 years ago. You won't know some of these things. But if you are born in Nigeria and you've lived majority of your life in Nigeria, there's something. The love of Nigerians hardly comes. The love of Nigerians, it hardly comes. For Nigerians to love you genuinely, it hardly comes. But when it comes, if you joke with it, if you take them for a ride, if you misbehave, once they turn their back against you, bye-bye. In fact, I can safely assert that the voice of Nigerians is like the voice of God. If Nigerians like you, it's as if the host of heaven are behind you. Things will be going well for you. Even if you misbehave, they will still like you. People will say, look at what Obi has done. See him. Look at what he's doing. Nigerians will say, don't worry, leave him. Don't worry, we still like. That is organic love. Now, where the problem is that such love rarely comes, just as it is for very dark man at the moment. For instance, let me give I've said I won't give you an example, but let me just give you this one, making two. After this, I won't give you any example. Now, Naira Marley, for instance, there was a time that Naira Marley was the influence of Nigerian music. Anything that he sings, Tese Labor, Yahoo ni Babalawo, all those kind of things, Nigerians would just be singing it. See me see trouble, am I a Yahoo boy? Nigerians would just be singing it. Am I a Yahoo boy? This, that. Naira Marley was controlling the minds of the Nigerian youth. You remember the No Belt gang, amongst Nigerians. I need somebody to drop to drop a comment. My comment section seems to have ceased. So if you are watching me, please just do what to say in the comment section. Please drop a comment to say I, because it seems my comment section have ceased. I just want to use it to confirm. Just say I in the comment section, and of course do what to like this video. If you are yet to subscribe, do what to subscribe to this channel. I've said a lot, you know. If you are just joining off, of course you've missed a lot. We've been having quite a good time here for a while now. So Naira Marley was controlling the media space, the mind of the Nigerian youth. If we say, oh, this, they will just go, they will follow that trend. Oh, you know, education is a scam, you know, school is this, school is that. They will just follow the trend. But all of a sudden, from nowhere, the death of Mohbad came. Nigerians believe that Naira Marley, you know, is allegedly complicit in the death of the young guy. All of a sudden, from nowhere, they just turned their back against him. Look at all of a sudden, they just turned their back against anything Naira Marley does. They don't want to hear it. Any music you release, they don't want to listen to it. That is how Nigerians are wired. Now, I went away from the political scene. I can give you instances of politicians at the national, at the state level, you know, I mean, that regard, but it's good to use other sectors to dissect some of these political issues for broad scope. And you would see that when what happened to Naira Marley, Mr. Peter Obi should be praying that it shouldn't happen to him, because if Nigerians decide to run away from you, it will just happen all of a sudden. And do you want to do you know something? It is one thing that they will say. I'm not seeing comment. I think my comment section is seized. So if I'm not reading your comment, please bear with me. Please, I beg you in the name of God. I think my comment section is seized, you know, because I said somebody should say I, but the comment it's not, you know, it's not moving. So apologies if you've been dropping comments. Please, I beg you in the name of God. My comment section appears to be seized. So you won't know what you will do to Nigerians that will make them to just decide that, oh, we are not following you again. Oh, we don't like you again. Oh, just go, you know, just get out of here. But I can predict that of Mr. Peter Obi, which is that if Mr. Peter Obi decide to take a political decision that the obedient and, you know, all these youths that are shouting Obi all over the place, that they deem unwise, that they deem disrespectful for their support and loyalty, they would abandon him. And the problem with Nigerians, as I said, once they abandon you, that is the end. Look at Naira Marley. This guy, Very Dark Man, is making waves now. He's all over the place. Anything he says, if Very Dark Man cough today, people will follow him. If he says anything like this, people will believe him. Because why? Nigerians just love him. But if he does something tomorrow, or Nigerians choose not to love him again, if he decides to say anything, Nigerians won't see you. That's how Nigerians are wired. So these are some of the things that will affect Mr. Peter Obi crossing over to the PDP to support Goodluck Jonathan, as you know, allegedly being requested by the former president. So Mr. Peter Obi has a major problem. If Atiku Abubakar wants to decide, Atiku Abubakar has followers that anywhere he goes, they will follow him. They don't mind. You know, if he goes this way, he will still get his vote one way or the other. Ameachi has his own people, but Mr. Peter Obi's support appears to be that organic support that, you know, from the people, that support that you have, that you can't say, oh, this is why I deserve this support. This is what I've done to deserve this support. It just comes. Let me tell you, Mr. Peter Obi was the most underrated in that 2027 presidential election. In fact, people like Bola Ahmed Tinubu believe that even Kwakwanso will do better than Peter Obi. Let us be realistic with ourselves. So Peter Obi came with policies that were against electioneering in Nigeria. You want to go for election in Nigeria, we are saying, oh, we are not, they give shishi, and people still vote for you. That is organic love. In election in Nigeria, I throw this challenge to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 2027 election, don't share any money. Atiku Abubakar, don't share any money. Let's see whether you can have the vote. Don't involve in vote buying. Don't share any money at all. Just go to the polls. And let's see whether you can acquire huge vote without kind of like sharing money to anybody, without giving money to anybody, without influencing anybody. No, just go into the polls. So this kind of support are rare. This kind of support is not the support that you get every day in a country like Nigeria, where money determines everything in Nigerian politics, where the people that want to vote, some of them are looking forward to that particular money. Obi, you did not share money. right? And people still vote for you. That is organic love. That is organic followership. What can take that love away is if Obi becomes the president of Nigeria and he performs below expectation, definitely they will abandon him the way they abandoned Goodluck Jonathan. You know that Goodluck Jonathan once had that organic love. When he emerged as the president after Yar'Adua's death, people were saying that, oh, this is the divine choice for Nigeria. I remember even one of my old aunts at that point in time, she said, oh, now Nigeria will be great because look at this man. It's God that put him there because he didn't contest the election and he became president. For somebody that has not contested presidential election to rise from deputy governor to vice president to president, this is God's choice. At the end of the day, Nigerians gave him that organic support. But when he was misbehaving, Nigeria abandoned him. So Mr. Peter Obi needs to be very careful. He has that organic, in fact, amongst the Nigerian politicians now, the one that seem to have that organic support, when I mean organic support, is Mr. Peter Obi. And then if election day comes, they don't want his money. Some people will vote for him. Right? Even if you give some people some money, that's another level of organic support. That's another layer. That's another realm entirely. Let me take you to that particular realm now. That the other realm is that there are some people now that if you give them money and say, take this money, vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku, or any person, some of them will reject that money and say, no, it's Obi that we want to vote. That is another layer of organic support. You know that you can support somebody, and on election day, if they give you 10,000 naira, you say, oh, don't worry, they give me money. Well, Obi, go to hell. You know, who give me this money? Oh yeah, cast my vote. There are some people that, you know, they are ready to go all out and say, oh, is Obi, I don't want this money. So that kind of thing, it doesn't comes, it doesn't comes anyhow in the history of Nigeria. In fact, it is very difficult to get to that level of organic support. Very, 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 very difficult. But once you have it, don't abuse it. Don't misuse it. And that is where Mr. Peter Obi's problem, that is where he lies. If he wants to step down for anybody, the people that have given him the support, that to them it is either Obi or nothing. If he misbehave, they will just abandon him that this one is a coward. This one, he doesn't know what he wants. This man is, he's a terrible man. This one, we are not supporting him again. And if Nigerians abandon you, like I used that of Naira Marley, that is the end. They will not look back. For them to look back is a problem. They won't look back. So that is one problem for Mr. Peter Obi as regards him crossing over to the PDP as allegedly requested by the former President Goodluck Jonathan. So I have touched each and every one of them now. I have touched Atiku Abubakar. And the background is that it was reported by Ibe Kachuku that Jonathan is offering Obi ministerial position. I've dissected that for you. I've touched on the report that I read that they met Goodluck Jonathan and he allegedly said, I wasn't there. I'm just dissecting what I read, so I don't know whether it's truth or not, but of course, there may be some element of truth in it that he said that if you want me to return to the PDP, make sure that you go and bring Atiku Abubakar back. I have dissected that for you, why that will not happen. Then Goodluck Jonathan also reportedly said that go and bring Peter Obi back. I just dissect that for you, why it will be difficult for that to happen. Then Goodluck Jonathan also reportedly said they should try and bring Kwakwanso back. I have dissected that for you, that one is 50-50, the condition of which Kwakwanso can return, and where that leaves Nasir El-Rufai. I have dissected that for you. And the other one is that of Nyesom Wike, that Nyesom Wike and his cohort should be expelled from the People's Democratic Party. And I have analyzed that for you, why that would be difficult. So I've touched on all this. So it's been quite an interesting time with you because I've touched on so many topics, and that is why if you are just joining us, you've missed a lot. But the good thing is that you can always replay this and catch up with it. And another thing is, if you are yet to subscribe, of course do well to subscribe, because tomorrow I have a video that I've already recorded as regards Mr. Peter Obi's rising influence in Bauchi State and his visit to the state. Today, I dropped a video as regards the alleged rigging of the 2020 presidential election. If you miss it, do well to catch up with it, because it will open your eyes to some of the things to expect in 2027. I don't know why my comment section is not working today, and it's very painful. I don't know why it's not working, so I'm unable to read your comment. It's just stuck in a position for a while now, and that's quite very painful. But just bear with me. That's why I've not been making reference to your comment. And oh my God, some of you would have been asking me questions anyway. So if you have been asking me questions, the reason why I've not been able to answer is because my comment section is just stuck in one particular place. So I'm not even saying it not to talk of reading it. It's just the earliest comment when I just started that showing. So please bear with me. But of course, there will be another time whereby you can write the question. And if you ask me a question, maybe you can go to one of my videos, right, and reference that particular question. That, oh, okay, Dr. Deji, during your live, you said this and this. Oh, I have a question. I will try and respond to you as in summary as I can. So please bear with me. So I've talked about Uche Uguamaye, the copper guy that they held on to NYC certificate, apparently to please Tinubu and his boys. I've talked about Godswill Akpabio's alleged ailment and what that tells and teaches us. I've spoken about Jackson Ude that allegedly revealed that Akpabio is sick and all that, and I've talking about even the Natasha Akpoti issue. Then I've talking about Obi that Ameachi said he won the 2023 presidential election, particularly in Rivers State. I've spoken about that as well. I've dissected the issues accordingly. I've spoken about PDP begging Mr. Peter Obi to return. Then I've also spoken about Jonathan, pacifying Obi reportedly with ministerial slot. I've dissected a lot of issues. I've touched on, so many things, different things, and trust me, it's been an interesting time with you. Just that it's so very painful that I can't read my comment section. But like I said, if you have an important question, a logical question that is bothering your mind, just go to any of my recent videos. Just reference it that during the live session, you have this question in mind, but because I said I couldn't read my comment that is just stuck in one place, you wish to ask this and this and this, I'll try my best to answer it in summary as possible. Trust me, you guys are the best. Thank you for sharing your time and moment with me. If you are yet to subscribe, do want to subscribe to this channel, share it with other people, and of course we would always make it happen. I'm trying to think about something that maybe if there is a breaking news in Nigeria, if there's any major issue that is a breaking news, maybe I will come live to dissect the issues accordingly. And I've even talked about Ogun State, and I linked it to that of Godswill Akpabio as regards what is happening between this Governor Akpabio and former Governor Benga Daniel. And I used it to explain the transcendency of power itself, to remind Godswill Akpabio that power is transcendent. So just do your best. Then I also talked about the two-third that is coming in the Nigerian Senate and the House of Representatives. I spoke about it and the danger of that, and how APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu can use that to the benefit of the country, and how they can also abuse that, and how that can even give Bola Ahmed Tinubu a third term or even a change of the Nigerian constitution. So I've dissected a lot of issues. So if you are yet to, if you join late, of course you can reverse it back and catch up with some of these analysis. Trust me, it's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video, and always remember that I love you all sincerely.